Hello and welcome to the Cozy Painter. My name is Sky, and today I'm painting an ironclad dreadnought in service of the White Scars Legion of Space Marines from Warhammer 40,000. This is an unusual pairing, and I'd like to give my opinion on why a legion like the White Scars would make use of dreadnoughts. I'll go over the basics of what a dreadnought actually is, followed by a discussion of the background and culture of the White Scars. And finally, I'll explain why I believe dreadnoughts do belong in the Legion. Let's begin by discussing the basics of a dreadnought. When a Space Marine is felled in battle, a combat medic called an apothecary will tend to their wounds. If they're lucky, the apothecary will be able to stabilize their condition and the Space Marine will live to fight another day. If they're luckier, the Space Marine will close their eyes on a brutal existence forever. However, for some, there is a third path. An existence spent between life and death, cut off from the senses of the flesh. An eternal unlife spent entombed in a walking sarcophagus called a dreadnought. A dreadnought is a terrifically powerful weapon of war. A bipedal battle tank that also functions as a life support system for its pilot. The pilot's broken body is sealed inside the dreadnought, where he controls the movements of the tank through neural connections and implants. The armor of the dreadnought becomes the pilot's new skin, the cables and tubing his arteries and veins. The machine and man become one, but the pilot can no longer feel anything of the world he lives in. Once interred into the sarcophagus of the dreadnought, the pilot is functionally immortal. The arcane life support system is self-sustaining. The pilot will live their life without biological need, completely severed from the senses of the outside world. They will have nothing but their own mind for eternity. Though elevated to the status of near demigods, the Space Marines are still human, and this eternal derealization would eventually drive them mad. To prolong their service to the empire of mankind, the dreadnoughts are placed into stasis when not needed, a dreamless sleep that can last for hundreds of years at a time. This extended stasis means that dreadnoughts have the life experience of the ages, as they bore witness to events long forgotten by the galaxy at large. Dreadnoughts are thusly highly venerated and celebrated members of their legions, viewed as wise elders in the brotherhoods. To be interred in a dreadnought is a privilege reserved for warriors of great renown or particularly keen minds among the Legion. Those battle brothers whose death is deemed as an unacceptable loss. The warrior sacrifices the serenity of death to continue their never-ending war across the stars. This sacrifice comes with the benefit of wielding unimaginable destructive power. Dreadnoughts function as an armored heavy weapons platform, capable of bringing to bear firepower that can level buildings and punch holes through enemy formations single-handedly. Their armaments range from high-powered laser cannons to deadly massed bolter fire to horde-clearing flamethrowers. The dreadnought I'm painting here is called an ironclad variant. The name harkens back to the steel-plated ironclad warships used in the American Civil War. An ironclad forgoes its long-ranged weaponry in favor of increased armor plating and stronger melee weapons. It's a tool designed to level fortifications and root out entrenched enemy positions. For some, the prospect of wielding such destructive force is an alluring one. For example, the Iron Hand chapter of Space Marines loathe the fragility of their flesh. An eternity spent living as an unyielding, steel-plated force of nature is a prospect worth coveting. The White Scars, on the other hand, relish in the sensations of the world around them. Being incarcerated in a lightless coffin, severed from their own senses, is a nightmare scenario. The White Scars as a whole are a warrior cult who value the purity of battle and the physicality of existence. They care little for aristocracy or bureaucracy, preferring instead to dedicate their lives to the hunting of their enemies and the refinement of noble pursuits such as philosophy and artistry. To the White Scars, there's no greater joy than the feeling of sweat on their brow and a sword in hand. It's not difficult to imagine why a life spent in a sterile, cold box would be unappealing to them. Spoilers ahead for the books Scars and Path of Heaven. During the Horus Heresy, a White Scar named Shiban Khan was nearly killed, preventing a coup from within the Legion. A character will later tell him that in any other Legion, his broken body would have been interred in a Dreadnought. Instead, he is rebuilt, more machine than man. All this isn't to say that the White Scars don't employ Dreadnoughts at all. There is precedent for their use within the Legion. So why would the White Scars make use of a Dreadnought, despite their aversion to them? Though the White Scars would love nothing more than to live on the fringes of the galaxy and pursue their quarry endlessly, they're not a nomadic chapter like the Black Templars. They have a military fortress on the planet of Chagoris, the homeland of their progenitor Jagatai Khan. The fortress monastery of Chuanjiao is the home of the White Scars, a marbled palace fortified to repel any invaders. This palace is host to vital aspects of the chapter's operations, such as the Librarius, Armory and Munitions, Apothecarian, as well as sacred relics from the chapter's past. These vital services and objects need the highest levels of protection, and Dreadnoughts have been utilized in this role. They were known by the poetic title of Guardians of the Morning and Evening Stars. Another thought to consider is that Space Marines aren't monolithic. Each battle brother is an individual, not a clone. Though they share common genetics and culture, they don't all have the same thoughts or personality. There may be some who relish the idea of commanding the withering firepower of a Dreadnought. The White Scars, despite their individual flourishes and idiosyncrasies, are still a Codex-compliant chapter. They follow the same rules and protocols as the other Space Marine legions, and in return have full access to all of the assets of a normal Space Marine chapter, Dreadnoughts included. When times were easier for the Imperium of Man, the serenity of death was a luxury that could be granted to a wounded battle brother. In the 41st millennium, death is a luxury not easily afforded. As a Space Marine, regardless of your chapter or culture, you have a sworn duty to protect humanity's interests across the cold and hostile galaxy. Your life belongs to the Emperor. Your duty is to humanity, and only in death does duty end. This Dreadnought was a gift to me from a friend when I first started getting into Warhammer. I'm really pleased that I was able to give it a good paint job after all this time. I want to thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you like this style of lore exploration during a painting video. I've been Sky from The Cozy Painter, and until next time, stay cozy.